Replacing a furnace seems simple, but in Colorado Springs, it's a completely different challenge. The most critical reason? An improperly installed furnace here can produce deadly carbon monoxide. This happens because at 6,000 feet, the air has 20% less oxygen, starving a furnace of what it needs to burn fuel safely. This oxygen deficit doesn't just create safety risks. It puts immense strain on equipment, causing it to fail years early. Next, we'll break down the hidden costs, the complex science, and the critical regulations that affect your furnace replacement. The first concept you must understand is derating. It's the mandatory process of adjusting a furnace to work with less oxygen. The industry standard is reducing fuel input by 4% for every 1,000 feet above 2,000. For Colorado Springs, that's a 16% adjustment. This isn't a simple tweak. It requires specialized equipment designed and certified for high-altitude operation, which comes at a premium. Expect to pay 10-20% more upfront just for a high-altitude furnace or the required conversion kits. This is a non-negotiable cost. Then, add the labor. Installation is more complex, needing technicians with specific high-altitude expertise and more time on site. So we have higher equipment and labor costs. But why is the environment itself so challenging for these machines? The problem goes beyond oxygen. The air itself is thinner or less dense, so there are fewer molecules to carry heat into your home. This constant harder work directly impacts components like the fan motor. It's like trying to run in thin air. Every part is strained. You might see a 95% efficiency sticker on a furnace. But can that furnace actually achieve that performance here? We'll reveal the truth in a moment. This unique environment is why standard furnace sizing methods, like manual J calculations, are often wrong for Colorado Springs. Installers here must account for intense solar radiation and massive temperature swings. An incorrectly sized system will destroy itself. So, the fundamental physics are working against standard equipment. What happens when people ignore these rules? We asked if a 95% efficient furnace is truly 95% efficient here. The answer is no. Without adjustment, your real-world efficiency plummets. Here is one of the biggest financial risks. Installing a sea-level furnace without modification will almost always void the manufacturer's warranty. This becomes a nightmare when you sell your home. An inspector will flag an unpermitted furnace, which can delay or even kill the sale. The difficulty doesn't stop with the furnace itself. What about the rest of the system it connects to? Because of thin air, Colorado Springs now mandates stricter ductwork sealing. Installers must prove the system is leak-free with a duct blaster test. Beyond ductwork, local codes dictate exactly how these systems must be vented. These aren't suggestions. They are legal requirements. You can't just eyeball these adjustments. A professional must use a combustion analyzer to measure exhaust and perfect the fuel-to-air ratio. All this strain from thin air and poor combustion means an unadjusted furnace won't last. You'll replace it in 7 years instead of 15. It's already a difficult process, but the rules are about to get even stricter and more expensive. If you think costs are high now, evolving regulations will raise the price floor for every single furnace replacement. What is it? Remember our initial warning about carbon monoxide? That's a direct result of ignoring thin air physics. A combustion analysis is proof of safety. We talked about derating and a voided warranty. They are two sides of the same coin. The manufacturer knows a standard unit will fail here. The inefficient heat transfer in thin air isn't just a concept. It's what causes the premature equipment failure we mentioned. This is the altitude tax, a combination of more expensive equipment, higher skilled labor, complex regulations, and greater physical strain on your system. Earlier, we asked about the future. Colorado Springs' requirement for AFUE 90% furnaces means waiting to replace your unit could cost thousands more. As we've shown, altitude is not a detail. It's the defining factor in furnace replacement here. It dictates the equipment, expertise, and safety rules. Cutting corners on a high-altitude furnace replacement isn't saving money. It's buying a more expensive problem for the future. Protect your investment and your family. Always work with a licensed HVAC contractor who specializes in high-altitude installations.